Concerning first introduction experiences with musicians, specifically with music coverage offered here, I will never forget either Camelot's Phantom Divine, Shadow Empire, or Mindfall Remedy, with respectful attribution to Camelot for sure, because they were the prime motivation as to why I engaged with those works in the first place. That was where my mindset was at the time. But Lauren Hart was featured on both tracks' credits as a featured guest. And upon reflection and many repeat listens, and I'm not trying to, with what I'm about to say, in any way override or lessen the impact of other artists that sit in a parallel space with the first introduction model to who I've awarded similar opinions on. But Lauren Hart, for me, produced some of the most robust and potent engagement on a first introduction with a very adept and talented female vocalist. I came off both Phantom Divine, Shadow Empire, and Mindfall Remedy, and I mean this in all due respect, thinking, this woman is just a beast in the metal scene. Instantly captivated my attention, especially, let's say, in regards to Phantom Divine, Shadow Empire, because Mindfall Remedy, I love that song. It's more so straight, unclean vocals. Her balancing between clean and unclean, and making it seem like such a natural interplay, really fascinated me, especially, as I said, with several repeat listens to further engage with the work and be engrossed in it. Lauren Hart's been on my mind a lot lately, and just wanting to engage deeper with hearing where maybe her capabilities go even beyond what I was introduced to through two brilliant pieces. So, Once Human has been on my mind a lot lately. Queuing off that collaborative model, right? We started with Camelot. Now let's look down the Lauren Hart rabbit trail of Once Human. And I've been eager to. I know she's attributed to another group that I forget the name of at the time, and I did look into them. They don't have anything, because she came on, I believe, as a leading vocalist. I think she's a leading vocalist for them. I might have that wrong. Years after they've been published in some older work. So if there's anything new, I will keep an eye open for that. But Once Human is the more current of the lineup. And this also mimics, by the way, a similar pattern with the collaborative focus, because I'm being introduced at this point to Robb Flynn, who, as I understand, was a prominent member, a former member off of Machine Head. I know the name. I've not engaged with them. Maybe we will someday. Maybe. Or maybe I'll engage with them on my own. You know, time will tell. I'll note them for later at least. But this is the first introduction to him, but a deepening of understanding for me to Lauren Hart, and maybe a first point of exposure for you. Now, I'd imagine some of you approaching this are Once Human fans, and you've been fans for longer than myself, and of course I welcome your presence here. But, you know, I do hope, we have a mixture of perspectives here, right? Some of you perhaps are engaging for the first time, and based off those two first experiences for me, I can say with faith, I think you're going to like her. I'm aware of it. Apparently, Once Human does take a bit of a harder direction, at least from some of what I've seen in conversational activity. And I do lean more towards the thrash side in metal for sure, though I keep an open door, you know, maybe for different flavors on different artistic styles and tracks and genre feels as well. Let's engage, though, with Once Human. I've been excited to, and maybe you're going to get your first introduction alongside me, and we can have a collaborative experience together in that respect. And I know a bit unorthodox, but I love the fellowship quality of that good music will offer, or really music in general. It truly is such an exquisite art form, and being able to showcase so many prominent talents here that I'm getting introduced to, one by one. It's an experience in itself I've not forgotten about, much in the same way that, you know, the artists have ingrained themselves in my memory and my life. Once Human, let's see if they fit the same bill. I imagine they would be. Deadlock. I like the name, by the way. I haven't looked into the lyrics yet, so this is very much in scope a first introduction in every respect.
U.S. Treasuries ticked higher after several tech companies slashed their outlooks to revive worries about a stalled economy.
Is there kind of a conceptual vibe that they're playing with? Ooh, good riff structure. Bit of a lighter twinge. I like that key pick, though. Nice throttle. The definition on her keys. I love the melodic scream. Just like Camelot. Strong first introduction. And that rapidity, good background. Nice syncopation too. It's got such a groove to it. Love the feed of it. And to use that opener as a transitional phrase works beautifully. Ah, grit. Perfect collaboration, and the vocalist talents on the Unclean are wonderfully balanced between the two. I love a song of a real-world theme or inspiration, and to match the rage. Ah, it's a great intersection. Oh my word, the variability. I can't wait to dig further. That is a heavy hitter of an introduction in every respect. When was that track released? Because I know I'm looking, it's a bit, behind everybody else, I'm sure. 2021. It's particularly contemporary. I was going to say if it came out like this year or so, I knew it didn't, but, I can't escape good social commentary in entertainment or art generally. Many of you know I cover a variety of mediums here, not just music, though it is for me very much a passion project aside from others. But you find good art everywhere, right? And maybe sometimes you find it, not with music. So far it's been great, like every song, as I said, but sometimes you find maybe art that is in a state of wanting. And I've seen maybe a variety in application with songs that have a social commentary inspiration to them, or some sort of real world parallel. I'm so into songs that have been like a conceptual vibe in nature. And this is less in terms like imagined storytelling, maybe in comparison to other groups, but there is a definite real world thread. Verbal magicians always screaming and twisting us into a deadlock. I love the lyric writing here. That's so strong. I've said before, I come from a English background in terms of my major. It's what I graduated in. So it's one of the first things I noticed, but the way that is written, especially how it's balanced to the tune and syncopation of the Unclean vocals on both Robb and Lauren's credits, truly impressive. The balancing on that is phenomenal. The rhythm, the drive, that is an impassioned work. And I have to ask, I don't know, maybe this is what triggered the association of Camelot, because I watched this video. Well, when did the Shadow Fury come out? No, I think that would have been first. Maybe Phantom Divine and color palette was kind of an inspiration. Like, this is the same structure and appearance. I don't know if that was, maybe it's just a funny coincidence. I'm like, it appears a lot like Phantom Divine on visual. Maybe not in the storytelling or the CGI extensions, but this is more just a straight performance. But it's fun. Invigorating work. I love the rhythm, the hard riffs, especially on introduction, the melodic scream scream. I did not realize it on the Unclean, because of Camelot, it's much more of a straightforward growl. There isn't as much fueled... Not like this. There's a little more variability and exercise with Deadlock. I mean, again, I love those Camelot songs. You know, I love this stuff like first introductions with the... This is something I've seen so often, where you start with that one initial work, and you're like, okay, this is sort of like an entrance track, and it really is. But then you look up the artist at a deeper level, and suddenly your understanding of their capabilities just explodes. I don't think I've personally heard, and maybe there's others by comparison I've not been introduced to yet. Maybe the ones that you've recommended to me, or maybe ones that I've noted in passing that I'll get to later that I can give a similar regards to. But with respect to many female talents in the metal scene in terms of people who have a good unclean vocal set, and I've come across many, even ones I've attributed here in coverage, I don't think I've heard one with such effective delivery on melodic variability within an unclean vocal structure. That is so impressive to me. It just works so well. The impassioned rage, but just how artistic it is. And I know, you know, metal's not everybody's thing. I know that better than most. I've said many times, when I think of my peer circle, I'm very much an anomaly of the groups I come across. I am 100% certain that my social circle has no clue who Once Human is. I don't say that again to be disrespectful. I appreciate my anomaly status because I've been able to be introduced to so many talents I don't think I would have come across otherwise, right? Especially in experimentation, this is a self-exercise for me. And I'm just so satisfied in it. I knew I'd like Lauren Hart at a deeper level because, again, I thought that Camelot just provided such an exquisite path forward to be introduced, but I initiate with Deadlock, and I'm just... I come off of it floored. I think many of us would. If we've now maybe some of you, again, like I said, are coming to this being an informed listener of theirs, and maybe you've heard this track in great advance, you know, before me. Maybe you're also introduced to Robb Flynn's talents. Again, first introduction here, right, with both his credits and Machine Head. And let's say maybe one day I'll dig deeper with them. Great pairing and association. I did read that there was a connection on behalf of one of their, one of Once Human's guitarists, Logan Mater, I believe. I think they were connected. Yes, he was a former lead guitarist on Machine Head. Okay, so there is an association there. So the connection, I guess, made sense practically speaking, but vocally, both artists sound great together. There's such an exquisite blend, but man, I'm just still taken aback by Lauren's credits on that the melodic. Man, I love fresh introductions. I really do. Strong track, impassioned work, especially in its mirrored parallel to reality. Music and creative choices on part of the vocals, just exquisite of introduction of a work. I'd love to hear what your feedback is on it too down below if you do wish to disclose your opinion on it, and your angle as well. First impressions with both Lauren Hart, maybe Robb Flynn as well, and with Once Human generally, or are you an established fan? Again, I welcome both sides. I'd love to hear your feedback down below on it. Easy repeat listen for me, very much so like the Camelot tracks were, on Lauren Hart's credits especially. I mean, again, to be fair, Camelot for sure, but Lauren Hart just proved herself beautifully again as a very capable vocalist, but even I going in had no clue what I was in for, obviously, in terms of her full vocal set. Creative piece, great drive, good rhythm, beautiful syncopation, great lyrics and vision to mirror, one that is practically realistic, and one I'm certainly into. I think a lot of us are, especially if you are somebody who admires the impassioned authenticity of the metal scene, done in such a raw and succinct fulfillment on vision. That piece goes the full mile. And as far as the first introduction is concerned, what track number is that on the album? Because that's the first for me out of 4 I have lined up currently. That's the second. Okay. Scarweaver's. The names on these pieces are pretty good. Scarweaver's next. That's coming. Title track, in fact. That hopefully, well, I'd imagine that's going to be good. If it's anything like Deadlock, I'm sure it will be. Thank you so much for watching this video. Before you bounce, feel free to drop a like and comment, subscribe to this channel with a ding on the bell, and share this video with your friends. And consider checking out the description here. There you'll find links to my other channels, as well as addresses to my other social media accounts and ways you can help support my work if you feel so inclined. May God bless you, and looking forward to when our paths cross again.